Are you familiar with the fundamental principles of accumulating wealth through a 401k account? These transformative strategies have been widely shared and celebrated for their undeniable power and enduring effectiveness. Consistently maximize your monthly 401k contributions. Ensure you contribute enough to receive the full employer match. Initiate your investment journey as early as possible and allow your funds to grow undisturbed for as long as feasible. Indeed, adhering to these principles over the long term will undoubtedly pave the way to becoming a millionaire. This tried-and-true strategy may vary in its specific implementation based on factors such as your annual income, local cost of living, the percentage contributed by your employer to your 401k, and the cyclical nature of the future economy. In most instances, faithfully abiding by these 3 golden rules for a minimum of 3 decades is likely to secure your membership in the esteemed Millionaire Club. You can amass $1 million within your 401k retirement savings account without fully maximizing the aforementioned key principles. The overarching secret behind this millionaire-making retirement strategy is that it is simpler than you may think. Let me show you 3 simple ways you can get away with lowering your effort and still retire as a millionaire. Reasonable assumptions. Every situation is unique, so I can't review every possible complication here. I can set up some reasonable assumptions based on national averages, though. As you'll soon find out, there's wiggle room with every metric, and you should spend some time with a handy 401k calculator, like this CalcXML tool. Calculator is for estimation purposes only, and is not financial planning or advice. As with any tool, it is only as accurate as the assumptions it makes and the data it has, and should not be relied on as a substitute for a financial advisor or a tax professional. To use this calculator, you'll need to input some key information, including the number of years you have until retirement, your current 401k balance, your current 401k contribution as a percentage of your salary, your employer's 401k match, your anticipated returns on your 401k investments prior to and during retirement, the length of time you expect to need money in retirement. For the discussion below, I'm working with a base case of 30 years until retirement, from age 35 to 65, for example, current annual income of $60,000, annual salary increases of 2%. No starting funds in the 401k account, and contributing 8% of your annual pay to the 401k plan with a 50% employer match, which works out to 4% of your annual pay. These numbers are close to national averages, erring on the conservative side. Unless otherwise noted, I left the remaining default figures untouched. The moderate case with annual investment returns of 8% lands at a total value of $1.1 million in 30 years, just a hair above the $1 million target balance. 1. Time in the market beats everything else. In my example, you'll contribute $4,800 in the first year, let's call it 2024, and $6,470 in 2054. Matching contributions from your employer will start at $2,400 and reach $3,235 in the last year. Your cumulative money contributions add up to nearly $300,000. In other words, more than 2/3 of your nest egg will be the result of investment returns. And that's just the moderate scenario with a compound annual growth rate of 8%. In reality, the S&P 500 market index has delivered an 8.4% compound annual growth rate over the last 30 years, a period including some of the worst market dips in history. And if you had the foresight to reinvest dividends along the way, you'd have an annual return of 10.5%. The dividend-boosted long-term average is close to the aggressive returns in the example above. That's worth nearly $2 million after 30 years. So even the modest investment rates I'm looking at should easily beat the $1 million goal in 3 decades. 2. You don't always need market-beating returns or exceptional investment ideas. Yes, your wealth can grow faster if your particular 401k plan lets you select individual stocks, and you happen to find some big winners. Maybe you work for Apple or Microsoft, who offer robust 401k options with market-trouncing stock returns in the long run. Extra money is always better, of course. But you can still be a 30-year millionaire without winning the stock-picking lottery. 3. ETFs can make it simple to match long-term market returns. All you need is a simple exchange-traded fund tracking a solid market index with low annual fees. The Vanguard S&P 500 ETF springs to mind, offering a near-perfect match to the leading market index's returns with microscopic management fees and a super simple dividend reinvestment function. It's also pretty safe to track American blue-chip stocks with Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF Trust. More ambitious investors could opt for the Invesco QQQ Trust, which follows the Nasdaq Composite Index, a more volatile option that tends to outperform the S&P 500 when the time period is measured in decades. Like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, these exchange-traded funds match the returns of solid market indices with low annual fees. Feel free to mix and match them, too. There are no wrong answers as long as you're sticking with robust, low-fee performers. And as the tool above shows, that's all you need in the long run. Your future millionaire self will thank you for starting your 401k contributions today.